Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I am back on War Thunder yet again, and finally we have got an update 1.81 dev server. Now this is the first video that I'm doing on the dev server, and I'm going to be taking a look at the M1 IP, which of course stands for M1 Improved. This is just an improved version of the standard M1 we already have in the game. So by the looks of it, it has pretty much that same 105mm cannon. The main advantage of this variant is the armor capability. If we go into the X-ray, you'll see that this is a lot thicker composite armor than on the standard Abrams. That's really the sort of main improvement, just that composite armor being thickened up quite a bit. And, you know, it's definitely a good thing. The original Abrams, it was good after its initial sort of adding into the game. After it was initially added, it was a very good vehicle. But the major thing it suffered from was when stuff like the Leopard 2A4 was added. It also had a few nerfs along the way due to it being slightly overpowered, which did lead to it becoming basically underpowered and being quite easily destroyed. But this variant, you've got a lot thicker armor. You've got this composite armor piece here, various stuff. Crew's pretty much in the same place. It's pretty much all in the same place, just thicker armor and a few smaller changes. Going on to the mods, you'll see we've got these shells. I believe some various shells have had some big upgrades and improvements, but this is quite good. So generally, just another Abrams, something with a few changes. The front of the turret does look slightly different, but not hugely. I believe it's got the same machine gun layout as well. So we're going to go into a test drive. We're going to see how this thing performs. We're going to do it in, of course, realistic mode. Not simulator, realistic. There we go. And we're going to get going. So let's take a look at this. Now, of course, if you are watching this video now, do be sure to, if you haven't already, check out all the other videos on my channel, as if I haven't already, very soon I will be posting lots more dev server content over the next few hours, so do make sure to check that out. So here we are driving the tank, so we're going to move along. There we go. Okay, so let's test this out. There we go. Target destroyed. Yeah, we've got... now, the FPS on the dev server are quite low. I've seen this... a few people have mentioned this on Live.War Thunder in the forums. The FPS seems to be quite low. Not sure why that is. But I'm sure they'll fix it. There we go. It's another kill. So, as you can see, it looks pretty much the same, to be honest. It looks almost identical to the standard Abrams. You just have that improved armor. So, basically, you know... A lot of people said, why don't they add the M1 IP as a upgrade package, as a modification to the original M1? I don't see why that's really necessary, to be honest. Because there are the armor changes. I don't see why a modification should completely change the actual layout of the armor in the tank. That just seems like something that would be a bit off, really. And also, it looks like actually that sort of rack around the sides and the rear of the turret, I don't believe that's on the standard Abrams. So that is another difference there. Okay, let's take out this T64. See how this does. There we go. And to take out the final one, there it is, T64B. And, oh, okay, yep. So that gun, of course, does have bad depression when it's above that rear section of the tank as that slopes up. Now that should be fixed. Yep, there we go. So get back. There we go. Fire. Oh, okay, I need to aim a bit higher. So currently I'm using the APFS-DS shells, of course, on this tank. So there we go, all of them destroyed. Let's jump back to the hangar. So as you can see, performance is still up there. T64B, it did go through the side armor, but in the T64A, it went straight through the front. So it can still go through all those things, these various shells. But it is quite good. Just going to look at actually the modifications and the stock shells that it starts off with. Stock shells, so you do have a APFSDS shell, the M735, which basically at base range, 10 meters with 0 angle, it's got 360 mil of penetration. And then you also have a Heat FS shell, which is 400 mils of penetration at 0 degree angle at every range. But of course, you know, it's not really the best for straight up armor penetration. It's more of a explosive shell. And you do have then the M774, which has slightly better actual armor piercing than the Heat FS and the other APFSDS. But of course, as it gets to long ranges, the Heat FS does have better armor penetration. Other than that, you do have all the standard mods. You got tracks, suspension, filters, transmission, brake system, engine, crew replenishment, ESS. Oh, is that exhaust smoke? Hey, engine smoke generating system. Okay, so like in the Challenger 2, for example, basically the exhaust, I believe, will produce smoke. That's interesting. I wonder if that's what that is there at the back. Basically, I presume it's going to trail smoke. You fire it up, smoke comes out of the engine exhaust, white smoke. If you've seen videos of the Challenger 2 doing this, it's quite a common thing. Just smoke comes out the exhaust. And there you go. That's pretty interesting, to be honest. That's smoke system, which, you know, I would... Challenger 2, of course, is something that I would really like to be added to the game. So that does add possibility of that. So and you also have smoke grenades. So you have that 2 sets of smoke protection, as well as actually the standard smoke shells, the M416s. So pretty good there, actually. And yeah, let's just do a quick protection analysis. We're going to just do it against the Leopard 2A4. So there it is. We're going to just go for... Which shell should we go for? Yeah, we'll just go for the... we'll go for the APFSDS, but not the best one. We'll go for the sort of stock APFSDS. Okay, so let's look at this from the front. So penetration is possible on the lower plate. Luckily, though, the sides of the turret on the Abrams previously were easy to pen from the Leopard. As you can see here, though, so around the gun mantlet, penetration is possible. But luckily, these two sort of cheeks of the turret, where tend to get penned quite easily, penetration possibility is low straight from the front. So that's definitely quite good. Penetration possibility is low along this top plate as well. Directly from the side, it's still quite low possibility. If you go up a little bit, so it's literally straight on, it is possible. But from a level angle from the side, it's not. Directly side of the turret, penetration possible. But it depends where you're positioned, really. Of course, sides are possible and all that. But yeah, the lower plate, though, has got better protection than the standard Abrams, of course. So that's definitely good. The protection, of course, doesn't make you immune or anything, but it is a massive boost on the previous amount of protection that you were given with the standard M1. The only visual change I can really notice is a perhaps slight change of the frontal turret design, and then also this this rack. It's either not on the standard Abrams or it's bigger on this version, but we'll have to see. And of course, all that armor pen was from 500 meters. If you upscale that to say 1,000 meters, it's near impossible to pen. It's actually impossible, pretty much, to pen from the front these side cheeks. Almost impossible to pen most of the upper frontal plate. Lower frontal plate is still possible, but the effective thickness goes up quite dramatically as the range increases. So there we go, that was the M1 IP. Overall, it looks quite decent. Just going to take a look at the positioning on the tech tree. So as you can see, the M1 Abrams still sits by itself in the tech tree, and this vehicle sits below it in a direct line. So you get the M1 Abrams, then you can jump forward to this better version. Sits at a rating of 10.0 and costs 390,000 RP to research. So that is quite interesting. There you go. That is the M1 IP. So thanks a lot for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please consider leaving a like, maybe even subscribe to the channel. If you do, that would be massively appreciated. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.